Welcome back to the channel, everyone. For today's video, we are in the city of San Antonio for a stay at the Hotel Valencia, a 4-star property located along the city's famous Riverwalk. We'll show you inside the property and provide you with a tour of our king room with river view for a real look at what it's like to stay at the Hotel Valencia. Located along a quieter section of the Riverwalk, the Hotel Valencia is a Michelin-recommended property that provides its guests with a Mediterranean-inspired getaway that is located within a 10-minute walk from the city's most popular attractions, such as the Alamo. Upon entering the hotel, you are greeted with a series of water features, which we thought to be both nice-looking and to help create a very calming atmosphere. From the entrance, there are 2 ways to get up to the lobby. You can either take the stairs or walk around to the back side of the water features, which is where the elevators are located. Once at lobby level, guests will find a nicely decorated common area, which includes the check-in desk, a cafe tucked away around the corner, which has plenty of seating scattered all around, an interesting little library area, and a bar that leads into the hotel's eatery called Dorrego's. At time of recording, Dorrego's patio area was undergoing some renovations, and so there were only a few outdoor tables overlooking the Riverwalk that were available. We were able to grab one of these, and we very much enjoyed the views of the Riverwalk and thought our burgers were pretty good but not great. One of the hotel's most interesting features is a wall of glass oranges, each signed by the famous individuals who previously stayed at the Hotel Valencia. From Snoop Dogg to My Chemical Romance and Tool, from Yo-Yo Ma to Ricky and Steve Martin, to Alice Cooper and Ice Cube, and from NFL legends like Emmitt Smith to Joe Montana. It was a lot of fun to see who all had stayed at this property before us. So, after coming in the door from the hallway, right in front of you, you see the fridge with the minibar, and on the front of it, it has this little placard that says, "Privacy please," though it does look a bit worn there. Here is the minibar that they have. Looks like you have some Chardonnay up there. Down here you have some Perrier, still water, some energy drink, beers, sodas. Looks like an orange juice up there. And then over here you have some of the spirits right there with Tito's and Grey Goose, and then below that you have some wine and Prosecco, it looks like. So below the minibar is where you will find your safe, and then below that you get a couple of drawers. The bottom one is empty, but this top one has the bag if you want to use that for laundry. And if we look back at the door real quick, we'll see that they give you a little magnet here to put on the outside. It says not quite yet. I guess that's when you're checking out, just to let them know you're not quite out of the room yet. Okay, so moving over into this closet area right here, this is where you'll get all of the extra hangers and then some robes here, and these are very nice and plush. Looks like those would be very cozy to wear, but they have this little thing on them right here letting you know that you can wear it as a guest, but you can also make arrangements to purchase them if you want. Below the robes, we have an umbrella right down here in the corner, but given the tag, it looks like this one is for purchase if you want to use it, and otherwise it's not just there to be taken out like some of the other places we've stayed. Otherwise, you can put your luggage on top of this. Here's your ironing board, your iron, and then extra pillows right here. Moving into the room proper, by the way, I also do like that sconce right there. I think that's pretty nice, but I really like how the room flows sort of towards those windows. I like that, and I like the colors that they chose with the browns playing nicely against sort of this metallic silver, the white, and then the lighter red colors there. I really like the way that it all goes together. So starting with where the bed is sitting, we see that the floor transitions from a sort of hardwood here into a carpet area, and I think it works, and I think the design on the floor looks fine. No problems there. But moving over towards the bed area itself, if you look down here, that's kind of interesting because this looks like one of those old shelves where you would put the newspapers and the magazines here. I guess like you might see at a barber shop. And this drawer here also has nothing in it. But I like the piece of furniture, and it matches the other side. We've had a lot that have been mismatched lately, but these two match, and I think they look nice. On top of the side table, you have a lamp here, which also matches the one on that side. So kind of nice to get some symmetry back. I do like that. I definitely think that the metallic nature of both the headboard and the lamp bases work pretty well together. That's a good choice. Let's go ahead and turn that lamp on real quick. Gives a nice warm glow, I think. Sort of a linen, I guess, design or material that they used on the shade itself. But down here, just so you know, there are some plugins at the base of the lamp. Of course, the room that we booked is a king bed with a river view, and I really like the branding right here in the middle, just sort of sewn in there. I think that's really cool. But otherwise, the first thing that stuck out to me was clearly this side gets slept on way more often. And also, if you look at the base here, it's like those statues where people go and they just rub on them all the time. You can see where people have put their hands, I guess normally, on this bedpost. It's just rubbed away. I like the red throw blanket here at the end, and it matches well with the throw pillow set out there on the middle. But otherwise, the bedding looks very nice and clean and cozy. But is it? So I guess we need to test and see if it actually is comfy. That's a pretty comfy bed, and I think that's gonna be a pretty good sleep. I'm kind of excited about that. As mentioned earlier, on the left side of the bed, you get pretty much the same setup. However, there is one different thing, and that is they have a charger there. You can just set your phone on and it charges for you. That's pretty cool. I haven't seen one of those in a hotel room before. Moving from the bed over here to the workspace, we can see that the nice big chair that they have here has the same pad design on it as the pillow that is on the bed. These two match. I think that's really cool and a really good way to tie the entire room together. And that's also a pretty decent sized chair that I found pretty comfy when doing some of my own work right here. But as you might have noticed, there's a wastebasket under there if you need it. Sitting at the desk, you have the phone right here in front of you, and then you have a larger lamp that sort of loops around up here. I like the light here. It's sort of a warmer glow, makes it feel nicer. The light switch back here, if you flip it, that actually flips on this light up here and starts a buzzing sound, so not as pleasant. They also have set out some reading material here. They have the Dorrego's menu, I guess, if you want to order room service. We just ate at Dorrego's. I would say that the burger is good. Nez had the chicken. She did not seem to think it was as good as I thought the burger was. Do with that what you will. They also have a couple of magazines set out over here. They have Valencia and then Texas Monthly. So something for you to peruse if you're trying to stay in the room a little bit. And then they also have a super cute little notepad holder here. Look at that. That's tiny. Well, you know, not tiny, but it's pretty small. And they got the little notepad in there and then the little pen. I think that's really cool. It's a nice touch. Moving to the right from this workstation, you'll also notice they have some plugs here for you. And then here's the coffee station where they have the pods ready to go right here and here. This one is tea, interestingly enough. I haven't seen that before. And then they have the creamers and the sugars and the stirrers right here. This is the machine. I can't tell if there's any water in it. I guess it doesn't look like there is based on that reading there. And then these are your little to-go cups. Those are pretty cool. I like those cups. Further to the right here, you will find another section of what seems like part of the mini bar, as this is a little menu and it says this is an honor bar. I'm not sure what that means because they're going to come up and count it anyway and then take the money out of your account if you take any of it. So I don't know what the honor part has to do with anything. But for example, you might think that these bottles of still water are normally complimentary, especially staying at a 4-star. But according to this little menu, they're probably the large size and that would run you $8 each. Now, when it comes to some of these nicer stays, I'm not saying they should give stuff away for free, but it really is nice to get more back for what you pay. So we know it's not free because you wouldn't be getting it if you didn't pay for the room, period. But it is nice when they do include certain complimentary things for you, like water bottles, and whenever they make you pay for the water, that does sort of rub me the wrong way a little bit. I agree it would be one thing if I was on bottle number 20, but for the first two, I think that those should be complimentary just as a matter of course. So what else have they got here as part of this little mini bar section? It looks like they have a charger back here, a little bottle opener, gummy bears, jelly beans. These are chocolates. These two also look like the same kinds of chocolates, and then you get mixed nuts back here. And then just below that is your TV remote right there. And to the right of this section of the minibar, they have a little tray set out here for you with glassware. These look like they might be wine glasses, and these are rocks glasses, but look at the coasters they got there. These are leather. That's really cool. And then behind are some tongs and an ice bucket. This all appears to be made up of one piece of wood, this desk area, and it drops off right here, but that takes you over to the corner, and they have this exposed piece of the building's structure, which I think looks pretty nice. I think we do tend to dig that kind of styling when it fits. Now, if you do decide to use the remote to turn the TV on, it's a pretty good sized TV. You can watch things like YouTube, you know, and so maybe put on your favorite YouTubers like Josh and Inez. So our room has 3 windows in it, and this one over here does not open. However, as you can see over here, the blinds on these 2 actually do open, in addition to being able to slide these up and down for better view. And so you can get a better look out of the window of downtown San Antonio. As a quick reminder, if you're enjoying this video or finding it useful in planning your own travels, go ahead and hit that like button to help us out. But otherwise there's no balcony, and these windows don't open, obviously for safety reasons. It's just the blinds that'll slide open to give you more light, which is kind of cool. Now in front of the windows here, you get this leather chair and leather footstool. Okay, and this chair sinks down possibly way too far, but it's extremely comfortable. And if you already might have noticed, there is the thermostat just behind me there, and you might be able to hear the AC blowing. It feels like it's gonna be nice and cool in here, and also enough of that fan-like sound to make it a perfect sleep tonight. Okay, so immediately to the right of the main door, you get these sliding doors, and this is the bathroom right here. And you might have noticed the strobe light. We're pretty sure that's not supposed to be happening. So as you walk into the bathroom, they have some nice tiling going on here with a toilet right in front, a wastebasket next to it, and then the toilet paper there. And then underneath the sink here, they have a basket with all of your towels, and then some of these smaller towels hung here on this little pole. Checking the quality of the toilet paper, let's see here. This is okay. It's not great, it's not terrible, it's just okay. So when it comes to the sink area, I like this little arch that they've got going on with the mirror here. But I also like the lights that they chose to put on each side of it to give it a sort of sense of symmetry. But then if we come down here, it looks like the taps themselves are pretty clean, though I would not say they are impeccably polished. That's pretty good. So right over here to the right, we get a little bucket, and if you open that up, you get some goodies in it. Some cotton buds right there, and then some makeup remover ×2. That's cool. And then right next to that, you get your tissues right there. Now on the left side of the sink, you get some hand wash and some moisturizer, and then you get the mirror where you get to go right up close that everyone loves. And then below the sink, but above the towels, you have a couple of drawers, and in this one, you have the hair dryer there, and on this side, you get a bag with extra toilet paper in it, so that's nice. In turning around to the shower area, I do want to point out the wallpaper that they have here. I don't think it's actually wallpaper. It looks more like, I don't know if you can tell the closer I get, but it looks kind of like that bag that onions come in, and then they painted over it after tacking it to the wall. Which, if anything, is clever. It gives the wall some nice texture, and I think it looks fine. It's just an interesting thing that I noticed. Not even sure if that's correct. So this room gives you a tub shower combo, and down at the bottom there you saw that there was a bath mat, and then here's a place to hang a robe, I guess, if you need to, as I'm stepping in. And right behind me on the wall here, you get more of their products, the conditioner, shampoo, and body wash there for you. Looking up at the shower head, it does look nice and clean, not overly polished, but nice and clean. Same with your triangle thing over here, and then the taps down there for you. It all looks nice and clean. As does the rest of the shower wall, which is great given the last couple places we've stayed seem to have an issue with some black mold. Okay, so how many people could fit in here? You might be able to squish 4 people. This is a bit larger of a shower tub combo. Maybe 4 at the most likely 3. Also, when it comes to the shower curtain itself, I really like it when they do these sort of bent rods that gives you a bit more space in here. And looking at the shower curtain from the outside, this looks like it is nice and cozy. The fabric texture here, it's almost like a sheet that you would use to curl up with, though I think they missed an opportunity for like a logo right here. And above the work desk area and behind the TV, they have this sort of border that goes along this entire wall, which is really pretty, and I think that's something that they do in every room. So what did this 4-star Riverwalk experience cost us? Just over $330. But what do you think? Would you stay at the Hotel Valencia? Have you before? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe now. As always, we look forward to seeing you in the next episode. So until next time.